Hello everybody. Starwin here with a submission of Silent Hill Homecoming, All Bosses New Game Plus. So, quick rundown of Homecoming and its backstory as a game and a speedrun. When this game first came out, wasn't received very well, mainly because it wasn't made by the original team that made Silent Hill 1 through 4. That would be Team Silent. Not only that, just in general as a game, casually, it's really slow. Puzzle difficulty isn't there. The melee's okay. The story's pretty bad. There's just it just doesn't live up to the expectations of the original 4 Silent Hill games, which is fine because there is a redeeming factor in all of this, and that's when you speedrun this game. So, in the Silent Hill community, speedrunning community, that is, it's just mutually agreed upon that Homecoming is the best speed game in the series. And you will see why when we get started with this run. Just a quick rundown. The main reason why it's so interesting is we use wall clips to skip huge sections of the game. Currently, the fastest category is 80% New Game Plus. And right now, we can beat the game in about 28 minutes. Usually, this game takes about 8 hours to beat casually, so you can see the huge gap there. So, this year, we actually had one of our members, UFO Techie, make it in to GDQ Express, which we're all thrilled to death about. The curse is broken. As we say, GDQ's in a big event, and then or Homecoming is in a big event. GDQ is a big event. So, I'll be focused on doing All Bosses New Game Plus and 80% New Game Plus in another video. And we're going to let the homie Techie take care of 80% New Game this year. So, let's go ahead and just jump right in. The good thing about All Bosses New Game Plus is there's a lot. This is the category that has all the clips, all the tech, all the cool stuff, just bundled into one. First things first, we have an unskippable cutscene. Nothing you can do about that. We can sit here and shoot the breeze a little bit longer. Does that sound like fun?
Are they here?
I can tell you about how, if you've ever watched Jacob's Ladder, then you've practically played Silent Hill Homecoming. Seriously. Play Silent Hill Homecoming if you want to. Watch Jacob's Ladder. You're going to be like, why does everything look the same? Like, why is everything just the same in general? It's
what are they doing?
Huge inspiration for this game.
What's going on there? Hey, where are you taking me?
Safe.
No. Hey! No.
Oh, there he goes. I wonder how deep the hole was.
Where am I?
That guy.
Hey, what is this place?
Oh, this is a hospital.
Hey, where are you taking
a very
me?
unkept hospital, to say the least.
Where am I, man?
But it is a hospital. This is actually Alchemilla. This is a very iconic location in the Silent Hill series.
Hey, wait.
And as per most Silent Hill games, we have
Where are
a
you going?
nightmare sequence as
Don't
the
leave me
first
here.
dungeon. Alrighty. Oh, we can move. This is our pro tag for the next hour. This is Alex Shepard. Before you ask, yes, he does look like Nick Lachey. And 3, 2, 1, go. And for all you people who don't know who Nick Lachey is, because you're not like 30 years old like me, he was in 98 Degrees, a boy band. Alrighty, first things first, 90s trivia aside.
Josh, is that you?
Good. There's a bunch of puzzles in these games, like I said, they're not hard. Like this one, for example, we'd have to go find like an X-ray and put them together. There's like 2 pieces, you put them together, and it makes the passcode. That code never changes, so we never have to go do it. And
Josh!
kind of like the main story, in a nutshell, is Alex is trying to find his brother, And every time Alex gets close to his brother Josh, he likes to run away and disappear. It's really weird. But now we are equipped with a knife. A combat knife, if you will. You see, Alex Shepard is coming home from being dishonorably discharged from the army. So this man has good combat skills, and that's why the combat in this game is a little different from other Silent Hill games. They took that into consideration. I think the combat's great. A lot of people don't like it. It's just not like, you know how like old school survival horror was all about, you know, how limited you are with your controls and how clunky it felt. Well, this game doesn't have bad controls. It really doesn't. It plays pretty well. That was supposed to be the melee tutorial with the nurse from the movies. They definitely took a lot of stuff from the Silent Hill movie as well. You probably noticed the peeling of the wall texture, transforming itself into the rusted nightmare world that is Silent Hill. That is straight from the movie. And I decided to walk in here with my flashlight on. That's not good. Nurses are attracted to light. The good thing, though, is as I am going through this, I have invincibility frames. So even if they try to hit me, it's not going to matter. From one enemy to the next. Your best friends to the end. This is the Swarm. Swarm are these bug-like creatures with big, stupid mouths. They attach to Alex. They'll start slowly draining his health. We don't want that to happen. That's bad. The more that are actually attached to you, the slower you'll move, and the more health you'll lose. So, if we have good movement right here, good RNG, none of them will fly on us. It sounds like one or two are going to fly in our face. There's one, that's fine. We're going to give that bug a snack, because instead of getting rid of him the traditional way, we're just going to go down here and drop down, and it just will make this guy explode. Anytime you have like a cutscene or a screen transition or anything of that nature, if there are Swarm attached to you, they'll just explode. But it's okay for me to have one attached to me right there, because you really don't lose movement speed, and the health drain is negligible at best. Hey, there's that guy in the beginning gets split in half. That's nice. He had a key in his hand. What a good boy. Alright, use this key, get to this door, then we're gonna come across one of the newer things that they put into Silent Hill games, and that is dialogue options.
Joshua, is that you?
In some games, like, you know, like Mass Effect or good games, except for Andromeda, the choices actually matter. Here, they really don't. It's either choose the one decision that makes you sound like a jerk, or choose the other decision that makes you sound like a good guy. There's only like 3 choices in the game that really matter, that change the ending that you get. But the choices that I pick in these other parts are just shorter dialogue sequences. So that's how we save time. It doesn't affect our ending. So not a big deal. So that was Josh. He's behind that door that somehow he got behind, and it's locked now. And he wants his Robbie toy. If you played Silent Hill 3, you know who Robbie is. If you watch Silent Hill Revelations, I'm sorry. You know who Robbie is, but you also had a bad time watching that movie, and I know you did. Do not tell me you liked that movie. Well, there he is. If you what's really annoying about this game, yeah, that's Robbie toy. Stop spinning. During QTE segments, if you mash too hard, the game will drop your inputs and you'll probably die. If you mash too slow, guess what? You die. So you have to mash just right. And just like that, we are done with Alchemilla. And we have another unskippable cutscene, so, how you doing? I'm good. Had a long day at work. Super tired. Hoping I could do stuff this weekend. There's another spooky game coming out that I'm going to play. I'm kind of excited for that. Ooh, and it's a long weekend. Labor Day. Ooh. He frantically pushes the elevator stop button. I don't get it. He also hit up on the to get into the elevator, and he's going down. Also, this happens for some reason. If you know Silent Hill games and you know their lore, which I know for some people that's probably not their thing, the game has rich lore. There's a lot of things that make sense. There's a lot of things that don't make sense. And one of those things that don't make sense is why the heck Pyramid Head is in this game. Also, there's Travis Green. He's the main protagonist of Silent Hill Origins. A man deeply in love with his truck. That's basically the Origins plot is him coming to terms that he loves his truck and he needs his truck to live. It's a great game. You should definitely play it. Just don't take it for what it is. And that is it trying to be a prequel to the first game. This series didn't need a prequel. Okay, so we don't have our flashlight anymore, but we did keep the knife. So the knife was magical and came out through our dreams. Just like Nightmare Part 3, the Dream Warrior. Pull things out from the dream world. You can be whatever you want in your dreams, but Freddy will still get you. Alright, so we're actually in Shepherd's Glen. We're not in Silent Hill yet. You actually don't go to Silent Hill until about 60% way through the game. Shepherd's Glen is a town across Toluca Lake. It's right there, right across the lake. If you go across the lake, there's Silent Hill.
Hello? Huh, that's strange.
Just this tiny little town, actually named after Alex's family. His founding fathers made this town. And here's the difference between New Game and New Game Plus. New Game Plus, we can pick up the laser pistol. This allows us to clip immediately, because you need a pistol to clip. So, you're going to see me, like, strafe back and forth into a wall. And just like that, I'm going to clip through the wall, follow this invisible ceiling, and there's going to be an invisible door around here, if I can get to it. There we go. And we just skipped having to go to a lot of places. Let's just say going outside of the garage, getting the gas can, draining the basement, fighting a lurker. Don't have to do that, because now we're just outside and skipped all of it. The cool thing is the game actually gives me items that I would need at this point. So the game runs a check on the items in my inventory, and it says, oh, you don't have the pipe, you should have the pipe. It gives me the pipe. So if you look at my inventory, got the pipe. That's pretty cool. So, yes, I understand. I know what people are thinking. Oh, it's New Game Plus. He has an infinite weapon gun, and it does 1,000,000 damage. This is going to be boring. Let me tell you this. Boss fights in this game are boring by themselves, even with, like, regular weapons. The bosses aren't hard.
What's that guy doing?
Aesthetically, the bosses are pleasing to look at, but the fights themselves aren't difficult. The only time boss fights are difficult is if you're doing, like, a melee-only run. The highlight of this game is the clips, or the speed run. So, right here I'm going to do another kind of clip. This is called a pillar climb. For some reason, when you strafe into a wall, you get clipped into it, it'll start sucking you into the other side. When you clip into a pillar, however, it likes to shoot you straight up, just like that. So now we're, like, kind of hovering in the air. And the main reason, I should just explain this real quick, the main reason clipping works is, as you can see, every time Alex aims, he moves forward. Now, if we just basically just aim and strafe back and forth, Alex will just slowly get pulled into a wall, he'll shoot up through a pillar, and allows us to skip a lot of things. Me doing this right here is skipping me having to go talk to Curtis, get the regular handgun, the regular pistol, and now we can just immediately go to the hotel. Because you have to go to Curtis, you have to talk to Elle, you have to do all this stuff just for that gate to open. But just clipping into that pillar and then pillar walking over the door, or the gate, allows us to go in here. And again, the game doesn't crash. It's an anomaly. It's insane that this game actually doesn't soft lock or anything. But I will say, I'm going to say this now, in All Bosses New Game Plus, there is a spot that's notorious for crashing the game. And that's when we get to Doc Fitch's office, which is going to be about 20 or so minutes. Maybe less than that. But, if it does crash, I do have a safety save right there, so it won't be losing much. It basically makes this marathon safe. If I was going for a PB, then that's just ripped, because we don't allow, you know, loading saves and whatnot. But for marathon, since, like I said, all bosses New Game Plus has all the tricks, we want to make sure and have a run that can actually happen. So, we just grabbed the axe. We actually are in Silent Hill now, by the way. Alex opened up that spooky coffin and got teleported here. So this is the hotel. This is actually a very, very cool dungeon that you would do if you're playing casually. A lot of crazy enemies, neat puzzles. But we're gonna skip all of it. First things first, though, we need to actually be able to get to the spot where we can start skipping, clipping through walls. That's a Smog, also known as Don't Fight These Ever. But since we have the laser pistol, I'm just going to kill him. Because that guy specifically, I will go out this door, do what I need to do out here, come back inside, and that dude will be screaming at me and I'll take damage. Same thing for you, jerk. I don't have time for you today. So we're going out here to turn on the power.
To rewire this.
Alex doesn't know how to wire things. Funny enough, the solution of this puzzle is right here, and it just says, don't forget to tape the big game XXI. And that just tells you that the first 2 sets of wires need to be crossed, the second set needs to be crossed, and one needs to be by itself. It's so stupid. It's not a good puzzle. There's no good puzzle. There's like 1 or 2 good puzzles in this game that will make you think. And just comparing it to the old school games, it's not fun. Even like Origins had okay puzzles. Shattered Memories had okay puzzles. Downpour had it. In Downpour they brought back the puzzle difficulty, but by puzzle difficulty they give you like part of a solution. If you're playing on normal, it'd be like, well, here's 4 digits, and then you got to figure out the other 2. On hard mode in Downpour, it's like, well, here's 4 digits, and you need to find like 4 others. Come on. Alright, so we're trying to get up to the 5th floor because that's where Alex wants to go. I'm not sure why. I think that was the only, yeah, that's the only button that worked in here, so that's where we're going to go. Oh man, we have some elevator action. It's like I'm playing Turtles in Time, but it's bad. And not 2D. So these enemies, these are called Needlers, or Edward Scissorlegs, as people like to call them. I like to call them that. I think it's a very clever name. So, they're going to jump on here, and they're supposed to slow down the elevator from moving, but for some reason, when they're not attached to the elevator just doesn't move. They want you just to kill these guys. Little gauntlet, not a big deal. Again, laser pistol's OP. Not the high. Me fighting things is not the highlight of the run. You know how awful that would be to like lose your leg? My god. Alright, we need to cut open this pretty painting. For some reason, if we have the axe, it won't let us cut through it. I have no idea why. So, we're actually in the area where we're supposed to be doing puzzles, and we're supposed to be finding all these pictures for this this lady in a room. But if we find all the pictures, she gives us the key to this door. But we can actually just clip right here. If everything goes well, sometimes this clip likes to be a jerk. Okay, that looks good. Nope. It's pulling me off to the side, and I do not need it to do that. Okay. We should get clipped right there. I need to get pushed forward a little bit more, and we should be good. Nope. Okay. The worst thing that can happen here is getting clipped to the floor, which it is definitely something that happens. If it does, it's... I'm just going to tell you this right now. I will see you in the next submission. Again, if that were to happen in a marathon run, not a big deal. I have a save for here, too. It's just really hard to get out of the floor, but we're going to be fine. So, that skips the entire hotel dungeon, and we're already at the boss fight. Oh, but the door's locked. Well, I guess I'll go back the other way. Psych. Gotta have everything pretty and rusty and aesthetics. Now we have a very riveting conversation with Mayor Bartlett. Him talking about his son.
Bartlett? Mayor Bartlett, I need to talk to you.
Oh, yeah?
Well, make an appointment in my office.
What the hell's happened to Shepherd's Glen?
No, seriously, what's
You're
happened?
the mayor. These people are your responsibility.
Now you listen to me, you little asshole.
That's not nice.
I did everything I could to protect those people.
Everything.
But you
He
can't
did
stop what's
absolutely
already
everything.
been started. What the hell else do you want from me?
He got
You
drunk
didn't
the
do
whole
a good
time.
job of protecting your own son, did you? Bet you don't even know where he is.
Are you saying I'm a bad father?
Yes.
Who the hell are you to say that? I've done the best I could for him. I taught him everything he knows. I bought him anything he wanted, no matter how much it cost.
You don't know anything about my son.
I think your son is a big spooky monster. Oh, there he is. Oh, that's the first phase. Oh my goodness. It's so awful. Guess what? This boss fight, also not hard. Trust me, I'm saving you so much time for having to watch that. So that's the hotel, and now we, if I wouldn't have skipped the cutscene, you would have seen Alex fall into a giant hole in the ground, and now we're in prison. We're in prison with none of our items. And here we're kind of having to wait for a cutscene to trigger. There's really nothing to do except for, like, this. I'm gonna do the duck walk. You can slow walk into the bar. I don't know. Donations, maybe? Sure. There's a lot of parts in this run where I go and get a drink of water, I go to the bathroom. This is one of the parts. See, the other good thing about All Bosses New Game Plus, or All Bosses in general, you actually get to see majority of the characters in the game, except for L, which, whatever. You're actually going to get to see Wheeler right here.
Start talking.
Well, you're not going to be able to ask him anything.
Wheeler's the sheriff
dead.
of Shepherd's
Dead?
Glen,
Shit.
and he is modeled after
And you better
Forrest
start
Whitaker.
telling me what you're up to, Alex. I want to know right now.
I'm just trying to find my brother, okay? I thought the mayor might know something. His son is missing too.
A lot of people are missing, but that doesn't give you the right to kill a man.
I didn't kill anybody.
Then what happened to Mayor Bartlett?
It was some kind of creature, but worse than the others.
I'm telling him the
It
truth.
came to life out of the
It was a
goddamn
spooky
tree.
monster. That's what
That's
it was.
what killed him. And that's the truth. I swear.
So you've seen the creatures too. We should get moving.
He's like,
I'm
oh
not
wait,
sure it's safe here anymore.
I'm not crazy? Okay, you can get out of prison now. Let's go. Alright, so prison area is pretty short. It's kind of, it's almost like a auto-scroller. We're just kind of waiting on Wheeler to open doors so we can get to all the items he took away from us. Because we need our items. I need my laser pistol back. I need everything. Because after this, we get to go to everyone's favorite area in video games, and that is the sewer. Good thing is, we're just going to be clipping through that as well. We ain't going that way. It's like the best line Wheeler has. Open the door.
Hold up, I gotta think. Listen, I think I know someone that can help us out.
Oh, yeah?
And the doctor is tied up in all the same shit as the mayor.
Doc Fitch?
Yeah, they all know a hell of a lot more than they're letting on. And I'm sick of being in the dark.
They? Who are you talking about?
No time for that now, Alex. Just trust me. We need to get to the doctor before something happens to him, too.
Alright, so we're going to go to Doc Fitch next once we get out of here, but we're going to get sidetracked, which makes us go to the sewer, and then we'll go to Doc Fitch's office. Wheeler doesn't want to tell us about what's going on, because we don't have time. Oh, those are schisms. Those are the Hammerhead men. They're spooky. They're going to be the enemy that you're going to see for a little bit. And we're going to get separated from Wheeler, not a big deal. He's gonna find his own path. We actually won't see him for a little bit. So we're gonna have all these schisms. These guys are kind of scary. They do have a one-hit kill attack, but they're never gonna have a chance to get close to me because how broken this pistol is. Just kind of juggle them, wombo combo. Ooh. There we go. I would just laser pistol him down, but you know. Oh, fun fact, the laser pistol is modeled after the Konami light gun. Alright, so that's the police station. Real simple. We're gonna get introduced to another enemy, which dies pretty quickly. Really interesting concept. They're called Siams. Oh, did I get the cutscene glitch? Nope. Okay. So essentially, they are the Siams are these big muscular dudes with a woman strapped on their back, and if you shoot them in the muscular part, they take less damage. If you shoot them in the back, it does more. But laser pistols just like, nah, 3 shots. Alright, sewers used to be annoying to do, because we couldn't figure out any clips. And that's until we had Neurotic Nanette. Neurotic Nanette is not a runner of the game, but a definite lab monster for the game. Figured out a way to clip through this wall, and then I kind of engineered it a little bit better and made it a little bit easier to do. So this clip, I like to call it pinball clip, because I'm kind of holding left on the joystick, and it's caused me to bounce around. Eventually, it's just going to bounce me into the wall. Like so. So now we're inside 2 walls, and now I need to get out to the other side, right over here, which can sometimes be a pain. This is the part where it gets really difficult, because most of the time when I do this, I have to do a clip with the shotgun. As in, I have to start the clip with the shotgun, which is something traditionally you don't do. But if you do get it, you can see Alex starting to move forward. And while this is happening, I'm going to slowly turn my camera to the right, letting go every now and again so he can get moved forward a little bit more. And eventually, we're going to be in a spot where we're just going to pop right out. That is, if it decides to work, and I don't think it's gonna. Yeah, it spit me back in, that's very common in clipping. If I had to put this clip in like in terms of like most difficult clips in the game, this is definitely number 2. Number 2 hardest clip to do. Because it's just really hard to set up. So the main reason this works with the shotgun and not the pistol, when Alex has the shotgun out and he's aiming, his hitbox is completely different. And it just allows him to do different things. It allows him to get pushed out of walls a little bit easier. We call those shotgun turns, which you're going to see later on. They're a lot easier to do than this one. This one, you're doing everything. You're doing the whole kit and caboodle with the shotgun, which I think we're okay. It's almost perpendicular to the wall. Yeah, this should be okay. There we go. Now we're out. That actually is still quicker than what I would have had to do. I'm probably still like 30, 45 seconds ahead of actually having to do this casually. Hello. That clip skips like 80% of the sewers. And what's crazy is this whole part, like, Elle's with us. Elle is supposed to be following us. And what's insane is that Elle will eventually find her way, and she'll be right behind us. I don't know if she just, like, teleports and respawns behind you, but she finds a way to get around, which she shouldn't. You actually need... That's, like, the main reason why when you do this casually, you're actually leading L to a spot where she can get to the other side and open that pathway that we just clipped through. So how she makes it to the other side, I have no idea. And she can die too, that's the thing. If she dies, it's game over, but if you listen closely, she's right behind me. And right here, I'm actually going to try and do a clip that I don't traditionally do, but it's just fun. So we're going to let Elle get in here. And then she's like, oh man, there's no way to open the gate on this side. And then you're supposed to do a gauntlet with a few enemies. And if I get this clip pretty quick, then you just kind of skip having to fight those enemies. But it's like another clip, like the first one we did here, which if you don't get it first try, it's not really worth doing. So we're just gonna go ahead and sit here and just fight the gauntlet. Gotta fight 3 needlers, and then there's gonna be a cyan that spawns at the end of the room. Yeah, L got captured or something right there. He died. I shoot him now. The cyan spawns at the very end of the room. You just shoot down there, you'll hit him and kill him. So we are actually coming up to the spot where the game can crash. If it does crash, like I said, don't worry. Run ain't dead. Run will be safe. We might lose a minute. and a minute in this is not a big deal. I'm not sure what it is that makes the game crash, but it's just here for some reason.
Come in, are you there?
When we open up the door to Doc Fitch's office, it just will stop working. If I was playing this on a 360, it'd actually hard lock the 360. But since I'm playing on Xbox One, it doesn't hard lock it, which that is awesome, because while I am going to have to close the game and reopen it, I don't have to, like, turn off my system. Alright, let's see what happens. It's a chance. But pretty sure if we load the save, it's just gonna be fine. So, fingers crossed. I really hope it doesn't happen, but like I said, if it does, not a big deal. Oh, it didn't. How nice. So, if this were to make it into Marathon, it's definitely incredibly easy to bypass this. Alright, we need a key to open that, but suddenly, nurses! There they are, look at them. Look at this one, has no head. Oh, there it goes. Alright, now we're coming up to one of the reasons why All Bosses New Game Plus is easily the best category. Not only does it show off all the clips, but it's this segment right here that I think makes the whole run. So, Doc Fitch's, I guess, nightmare dungeon. It's like a huge vertical dungeon. You have to constantly go downstairs. There's a wind turbine, like, puzzle. We have to turn off, like, certain sections of these tunnels, and then other ones will turn on, and others will turn off, and you just have to... It's annoying. But we're gonna do something cool. We're gonna clip right here, and I'm just gonna let this speak for itself. Of course, you gotta get the clip first. Which sometimes these pieces of wood like to be jerks. There we go. And see you later, Alex. The answer is yes. I'm about to navigate the last part of this dungeon blind. There we go. And bada boom, we are at the boss fight. So at the very, if you could see that when everything is loaded in, that last part, there's like a long hallway, and it has a very, very small opening that you have to walk through. And sometimes you get caught. So I use sound cues to know if I made it in or not. Oh, there's Dogfish having a bad time.
Doctor, do you need some help?
Here comes the
You're
best
bleeding
boss in
bad.
Silent Hill
Don't you touch
history.
me. I bleed out the sin, but it grows back. So I must let it out every day.
What do you say?
I can stop the bleeding.
I don't want your help.
Supposed to be nice here.
These wounds cannot heal.
Why did you come to this place?
I come here to remind myself. It's the only place I go where she listens to me.
Who listens? Scarlet? Is she here?
She's here with me now.
Where?
My baby. My beautiful child.
Aha.
Daddy forgot to bring you a present today.
That's rude.
She loves dollies.
Life have a dolly, so don't worry. So Scarlet becomes this big doll spooky monster, and is absolutely terrifying to look at. For some reason, the laser pistol likes to break this boss, which you might see. So I'm trying to take this really slow. Nope, she still has health on her. Alright, we had no brakes. Sometimes she likes to, like, T-pose, because the pistol's so broken. And this boss actually has 2 phases. Now she's going to be like a spider. But we're not going to let her do that, because that's not good. Oh, maybe she is gonna. Ooh, nope. Nope, 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 nope. And that's Scarlet. I'm telling you, that boss fight is so much fun when you do it with nothing but melee weapons. Also, yes, we just got an achievement because I am running this on a new Xbox One, so I do not have the achievements unlocked on this account. You could probably see a few achievements pop up. Alright, so that's 2 of the 4 bosses we have to beat. We've beat Sepulchre, which was with Mayor Bartlett. We have Scarlet with Doc Fitch, and then we have a 3rd one that will be coming up, probably like 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes or so. But first, we have to go grab the ceremonial dagger. So Alex, after beating Doc Fitch, or beating Scarlet, sees a picture with it, and he gets a key, and he's supposed to go in here, unlock this thing, and then go through this spooky, like, maze, but, again, that takes forever. We're just gonna clip right here, and it's gonna drop us into the room, or into the maze area. And to get back into bounds, we're gonna do this really cool trick. It's gonna look like I'm gonna fall, like right there, and then right here, I'm just gonna gun walk forward. And now we're back in bounds. This skips having to watch a cutscene getting the ceremonial dagger, because once I go up this ladder, the game's gonna run a check and make sure I actually have it. And it's gonna notice, hey, he doesn't have this. It's gonna give it to me. So that skips having to do that whole part. And we're actually gonna be popping out somewhere that's gonna look kind of familiar. We are back in the mausoleum, or the great... Well, we actually didn't... now that I think about it, you guys didn't see this area because we just kind of clipped in the beginning. So, if we were playing this game casually, in the beginning, we would have gone through this area on the way to Curtis's place to get the pistol, the regular pistol. But since this is all bosses, we have to go fight Sepulchre, so we had to go, you know, and do that pillar climb. So now we're just going to be backtracking back to the Shepherd house. Because now we have the item to open a door in the basement, which I might show off a trick. And by trick, I mean something funny. Or I might just save it if this makes it into a marathon. Alright, for some reason, a Smog is supposed to spawn right there, but for some reason during all bosses he doesn't. If I was doing 80% new game, that Smog would spawn. I have no idea why he doesn't spawn right here. No, I've got no clue. This game has a mind of its own sometimes, and I mean that 100%. Oh yeah, I didn't kill you. Please don't tackle me. That'd be a bad boy. You too. Those guys have a tackle attack that'll take off about half your health. And it's really annoying. So, you really haven't seen any kind of combat yet in terms of like melee fighting. If you were to melee fight most things in this game, not those, you never fight those. Most things in this game, you can stun lock with the knife, because the knife is so fast. It doesn't do the most damage, but it's so quick that enemies can't attack. So stun locking is a thing that you can do. But the enemies can do it too if they get their attack off first. Alright, back in the Shepherd house. And we're going to go through the basement. This is what we would have had to... we would have came through this way if we would have done the puzzle, but we didn't. We did a bunch of clips, because clipping is cool. And we're going to go in here. There's actually a door in here that doesn't have a doorknob. And then Alex comes to the realization, oh dang, the ceremonial dagger's a doorknob. Cool door. And now we have the attic key. In the room that we picked up the laser pistol, there was a room that we couldn't go in. It just immediately closes when we first get in here. And that's where we're heading right now. But first, we're going to do a little trick that we can only do in all bosses New Game Plus. And that is, we're going to go in here and look at that. Another laser pistol. No, I can't dual wield or do anything cool like that. But it does something very important later on, which I will bring back up. It's at the very end of the game, though. It's very, very crucial, though, to pick up that second laser pistol. Alright, now that we're in the attic, we're skipping a bunch of cutscenes of Alex's dad talking to Josh, his little brother. Exposition, whatever. We like slide puzzles. Everyone likes slide puzzles, right? You know how these are, like, not a cop-out puzzle? These are the most annoying puzzles on the face of the earth. But good thing I know how to speedrun video games. And I know the solution. Alright, so instead of going back the way we came, I'm going to clip right here. Mainly, it skips going through that load door. Because I'm going to fall through the floor and, oop, look where I'm at. And now, we are in the Nightmare Shepherd house. This is the final dungeon before we actually go to Silent Hill and stay in Silent Hill for the rest of the game. This area has 4 puzzles that we have to solve in order to leave the area. None of the puzzles are hard. Mainly it's just putting masks on corpses, putting a doll on a window. It's really stupid. There are a significant amount of clips here. This dungeon might be small, but there are clips that we will be doing. So first things first, we're going to do the mask puzzle, just because this door is open right here. I guess the main gimmick besides the 4 puzzles is that in the entryway there is a lever. When you pull that lever, it closes an area and opens up a different area so you can go solve that puzzle. Since this area is the first one that's open, that's why we're going to do this one first. It's also going to spawn a schism, but since we're top tier, we're just going to shoot him, get rid of him. There is a cool strat right there where you can actually roll past him, and he'll be stuck in that room, and then you pull the lever, and then it just despawns him. That's actually the 80% new game strat. Alrighty. So now we're going to go to the attic. This one is a metal puzzle, which makes no sense. We have to find these 3 army medals and go put them on a jacket. There's probably a note somewhere that explains on what order to put it in, but it's only 3 medals, so seriously, how many possibilities could it be? You honestly can just sit there and not try. So the attic has a lot of schisms. We are going to avoid that. Avoid all of them by not backtracking. We're going to clip out of this room, because backtracking actually activates all of these schisms. And we're going to put that one here, and that one there, and that one there, and oh my goodness, that's the second puzzle. So difficult. It's kind of like the clip I did earlier with in the slide puzzle room. I'm going to clip right here and fall through the floor, and now I'm on the stairs. Skip having to fight all those enemies. And now we're going to go upstairs, where this one is put the Robbie doll on the lit window. But make sure you put in the right time first, which, if you pay attention to this game, the time 206 pops up absolutely everywhere. I mean, it's in the opening cutscene. All the clocks in the town are stopped at 206. If you were playing this casually, when you go see Curtis, he explains to Alex, hey, all the clocks in this town are set to 206, and I don't know why. And then that's supposed to be your hint, but context clues honestly can solve that puzzle. Alright, one more puzzle. This one is put the knife in the right spot. And it clearly shows you which knife goes where. So we're going to go ahead and open the exit, but I'm going to clip into pretty much outside the room where we need to place all the knives. Doing this, again, skips spawning of enemies that we would have to deal with. Not like it would matter anyway, because we have the laser pistol, but mainly it's just because clipping down here is way faster than walking down here. Alright, it's a bogeyman knife. Alright, match the shapes. Oh my goodness. So difficult. And that's this Nightmare Shepherd house. Nothing difficult. And then as I backtrack to this area that we were supposed to walk through, we're going to have a lurker spawn, but it's not going to matter. He's going to just kind of come out of this wall to the left over here. You're going to hear him. He is very angry and sad that he didn't get to hit me. Okay. You know what time it is? It's time for calisthenics.
This has to be right.
If you didn't guess, that was an unskippable cutscene. So to me, that means insert joke here. Okay, so what basically just happened is Elle got captured as we were traversing Toluca Lake to go to Silent Hill. Wheeler got captured too. We were the only ones that made it. So now we gotta go save Wheeler and Elle because they're jabronis and got caught. So this whole segment right here would involve the whole purpose when you first get here is trying to get into the prison. The prison is surrounded by an electric fence. We have to go somewhere and turn off a generator, fight a bunch of order soldiers. I don't want to do that.
Is that you?
We're gonna clip through walls because that is how we play this game. I'll tell you right now, we're 44 minutes in. We've beaten the 2 main bosses, 2 more left, and we're about 65% done with the game. The rest of this game is gonna fly by, I promise.
Wheeler, are you there?
Wheeler,
come in.
So, as silly as this sounds, so Wheeler gets captured. They take away his gun. They put him in a prison cell. They don't take away his walkie-talkie. Come on now. Like, how brain dead do you have to be to, like, not think of that? Alright, so... this clip, I like to call it Baby's First Clip, because this is the one clip people do have a lot of trouble with, but it's also a very good practice clip, because once you get it down, it's not that difficult. As I say that, there we go. I just need to get a good pull. So you get stuck in the wall, you can't move. This is where we do the shotgun turn, like I explained earlier. As long as you switch the shotgun and turn into the wall will push you out. So that skipped having to do the whole prison segment and fighting enemies. Now we're just in the prison.
Alex, where are you?
I'm in the prison. You told me to shut off the electricity, but I used magic. And now I'm here. So the prison, gonna be fighting a few enemies and doing a couple of clips. That's about it. After that, we'll be in the Nightmare Penitentiary, and we'll be really close to fighting the third boss. But we gotta save Wheeler. He's very important. Up we go. The game's just start going crazy right here. It's trying to freak you out like there's enemies like at the bottom floor you just came from, but there's not. Makes a bunch of noise for no reason. And now we have to fight some Order soldiers. And they're gone. Yes, I did play Halo 2 back in the day. I can headshot people. That was a double kill. We got 2 more. Oof. Oh, swing and a miss, good sir.
Good job. Now get me out of here.
All right.
There's a switch over there. Hey, nice work back there.
I'm gonna set something up right here. It's not gonna make any sense, but I'm gonna try and do it.
Okay, let me try to open that
I
gate.
rolled right before the cutscene triggered. That's gonna put me a little bit farther up after this cutscene, and didn't make it. If you can make it in front of Wheeler right there, Wheeler's really fast, but if you can get in front of him, you skip having to wait for him to jump across this. You save like 10 seconds overall, but you have to time that roll really perfect so it moves you a little bit forward after the cutscene.
Now that's gross.
And if you get in front of Wheeler, you save time. That's just how
Alex,
it's dumb. I might be able to get in front of him right here, which, yeah, I will. That's a lot easier to do.
Let's try to find a way out of here.
Wheeler is just slow when it comes to opening doors, but he's fast when he moves.
Alex, it looks like I can.
Then I'm gonna roll out of the room and let's see if we get a funny position where Alex
Yes, it works.
would be.
Okay.
Yeah, Alex is supposed to be right. Oh, where he's over here. What are you doing?
To the locked bars on the far
Oh, there he is. Who are you
Now
talking
get out
to?
of here.
You're not making eye contact with me. You can actually roll out of, like into that cutscene to where Alex is like inside Wheeler. It's insane. All right, Wheeler now has control of certain things in the prison now, certain gates he can open. See, if I were to go straight through the doors on the other side, he would tell me that, hey, these gates don't work. You have to go somewhere else. Which we'd have to solve a puzzle dealing with wires, and I don't have time for that. So we're just going to clip through 2 walls. Like so. And we're going to be on top of this table, which is not a big deal. We can just gun walk and get right off of it. Like so. Then, they want us to get into this tunnel. But, if we're lucky, we can land on top of this thing, hopefully not triggering a cutscene, and we'll be good to go. And we'll actually be already at the Nightmare Penitentiary. The fences usually are really easy to clip into, but man, this fence is so annoying. Like, it looks like it wants to, like, take you all the way in, but then it'll push you out. Alright, did trigger the cutscene. So we're on top of this. The game thinks we're inside it. And then I always got to bring this up. If you can find a way to find, like, if you can find a way to get that gun right there. It's a gun that's just there for no reason. If you can find a way to get that gun, I'll give you $100. And I wish you good luck in that adventure. So, the way we get inside the tunnel is we clip our body by rolling into a cutscene trigger, and now we're inside the tunnel. A bunch of violent stuff just happened that we just skipped, so we're not going to worry about that. If you want to find out what happened, go go watch a casual playthrough. This puzzle is probably the first competent puzzle in the entire game. This one actually takes a little bit of thinking. And messing up can lead to your death. So you want to be right. And we've got to be careful right here. There is a very notorious glitch if you skip a cutscene too quick. The game likes to fade black like the cutscene is ending, and then fade back into the cutscene, and I do not want that to happen.
God, where the hell are we? I don't know, Wheeler, but we have to keep moving.
We're in Spooky Land. Alrighty. So we're about to come up to Asphyxia. Asphyxia. It's a pretty simple boss fight. Really cool looking boss, though. Uh-oh. Good job, Wheeler. Those guys like to block bullets, so we actually run around them and let Wheeler shoot them in the back because they're going to be focused on me. And, alright, here we are. We are now at Asphyxia. I'll let the boss, the way it looked, let it speak for itself. You'll probably think of some things when you see her. Alright, that's Asphyxia. So yes, Asphyxia does, if you were thinking, does look like the human centipede. Fun fact, though, and this is one of my favorite facts about this game. This game does predate the human centipede. So, who did it first? It could have been Homecoming, or Homecoming could have known, the people who made Homecoming probably could have known about the human centipede, but I think Homecoming did it first.
Josh, wait!
Alright, Josh is still running away like a jerk. Doesn't want to talk to his brother. We're now at the spooky church, and this is where clips, these clips are the make or break it in your run. Because in any percent new game, 80% new game plus, all bosses new game plus, all bosses new game, all of them have these same clips at the very end. And the church is like the beginning. I think we have like 7 clips left in the game. And these, we have 3 we have to do in here. First 2 aren't too bad, but Church 3 is notoriously a jerk. So let's see how that works. So right here, we're gonna clip right here. There we go. This bypasses having to like solve a bunch of puzzles to open up a gate. Again, the game doesn't crash. It's really cool, like why the game works this way.
L?
Next is gonna be the same thing. Usually you would cut open one of these paintings, but you can't because we're breaking the game. So we're just gonna clip through this wall right here. And we have to do a kind of a weird setup, and we're gonna try and shotgun turn out of here, which we did not get. It's not a big deal. There's many ways to get out of here, even if your setup fails. Just like, well, was that it? That was close. I'm in the air. I do not want to be in the air. I want to be out here. Hooray! So easy peasy. And then we have Church 3. Church 3 is just RNG. We're trying to start a clip to where we'll get on top of this desk and then get pushed into the center right there. And we got a first try. I grinded to try to get an 80% new game plus to get a sub 30 forever. It took me so long to do it. And it's all because of Church 3. It's like, first try, hooray. 80th try, boo. Yeah, that's definitely the make it or break it. But just because you get those clips really easily doesn't mean you're done yet. We still have 4 clips left, and 2 of them are very difficult. So, doing those 3 clips, we bypass the whole church, don't have to deal with anything. There would be a part where we'd have to talk to Alex's dad. It's a long dialogue, and no. There's a lot of enemies you have to fight. There's a lot of puzzles you have to solve. We skip past that. Now we're in the final dungeon. the lair. This next cutscene is kind of, I guess it's kind of graphic, so if you don't like looking at graphic stuff, don't look. Only thing I gotta say is Judge Holloway here is a very bad dentist that is nowhere near the mouth. If that's closer, I might have to show her how. Alex, can you give her an example of where the mouth is?
Bitch!
I mean, yeah. I mean, it went into the mouth, but you had to make a hole. Okay, so, joking aside, so earlier, we grabbed a second laser pistol. When we come to this area right here, we actually lose everything. The only thing we get to keep is the ceremonial dagger that we grabbed earlier. After the whole cutscene that we just saw. Since the game is it runs checks on the values of things. The only thing it did when you lose all your weapons, it puts -1 in your values. Since we technically had 2 laser pistols, we got to keep 1. So it makes like killing these enemies really easy. We're gonna be skipping fighting Curtis, and we're gonna start doing these clips. We have a pillar climb right here. You would still be able to do these clips. Why we got that first try? You would still get to do these clips. There is a pistol in that room where I grabbed that key. It's just that you have to be very careful with your shots. You want to make sure you get all headshots on those order members. But since we have the laser pistol, it really doesn't matter. And we're going to grab all of our stuff back, because we do need the shotgun to do a shotgun turn, which would be right here. Here we go. Just got to be really careful. We do not want to get pushed back out. This clip is very notorious for being janky. There we go. And we have one clip right here. The main reason we have to clip through this room is that we're supposed to have L right here, and this room won't load properly. It's just going to be a gray room. And there's supposed to be like a glass window that we're supposed to break in order to get to Wheeler. We can't break it because the glass doesn't load. We'll give him the med kit. Wheeler's actually dying. He has about 1,000 knives in him right now, but I gotta go save the day. And last but not least, we have the final clip in the game, and then the final boss in the game. That would be Amnion. Amnion is also a graphic boss, so I apologize beforehand. So, this puzzle right here is really slow. It takes about 1.5 minutes to do. So, we're going to try and clip through the door, but this clip is the hardest clip in the game. How convenient that the hardest clip in the game is the last one you do. Yes, I have lost thousands of runs. Don't at me. I know the pain. So, this is the only wall you have to work with. And if you get the clip started, you have a chance of making it, but the whole thing is like just getting the clip started. That's the hardest part. Well, it was giving us some clips at the beginning. Now it's kind of being a jerk. There was one. There we go. So a lot of things can happen in this clip. It can spit you back out like that. Sometimes you won't get pushed all the way in. The worst thing is there's a death plane through this wall. You can get pushed through it and fall through the level and die. You can accidentally clip yourself into the ground. There's a lot of scary things that can happen. Man, it's being mean to me today. Where we're about to hit an hour. I got like 5 minutes to spare. Not a big deal. So, if I was going for like a PB or something, this would have been the run killer. Okay. Screen stopped shaking. That's a good sign. Do not start shaking again. It did start shaking. That's not a good sign. Sadly, I don't think this one's gonna work. We have to set it up again. Yeah. We gotta set it up again. Oh, that should be okay. Or not. Well, goodness, game. So, depending on where we're at, and I'll say this for marathon's sake, depending on where we're at in a run, going for this is definitely the best way to beat the game. At the same time, though, if we don't have time and it's going to go over estimate, which it shouldn't, because this category really isn't that bad, I could just do the puzzle. See, here's a great example. See, right there, we just fell through the floor. So, I'll go ahead. I just realized the timer is being a little derpy. Where did the... Oh, there it is. That was cool. Okay, so, I'll go ahead and just do the puzzle. Or will I? I will not do the puzzle. We are going to do this. I am a man on a mission. Sadly, that won't do it either. Trust me, the amount of runs that I've died here is insane. It's like one of the main reasons why I wasn't able to like get a good time for the longest time. But yeah, there you go. That's how it's supposed to look 10 years later. But good thing is, this will be under estimate. The final boss takes 4 shots to kill. 1, 2... Alright, besides the final clip, going kind of bad, everything else went really well. We got a lot of the clips first try, so that's a plus. Like I said, final door clip is the hardest clip in the game. If things were to go south, doing the puzzle is not a big deal. Like, it's definitely... I don't have to do that clip. It's just...
Sorry, Josh.
I've been running this game for a long time, and I'm very confident in my ability to eventually get it. But if something were to go south, like I said, or Ari, whatever you want to say, you could do the puzzle, no problem. So, but that was all bosses, New Game Plus. We'll go ahead and let the ending play out. I did go ahead and pick the UFO ending, since UFO ending, the joke ending, seem to be the endings people tend to like in the Silent Hill games. I hate to say it, though, this is probably one of the worst UFO endings. The best ending in this game, in my opinion, is the worst ending in the game. I can't remember what it's called, but Alex basically turns into a pyramid head, so that's pretty cool. I will go ahead and say this, that because this game has a lot of costume choices, that definitely will be a incentive, a donation incentive. There's like 6 or 7 costumes, and there's one of them where Alex is just wearing a pyramid head helmet. That's makes the run, doesn't make it tougher, but it makes it a lot funnier because the pyramid head helmet is just clipping through everything. So, But there's also a lot of other really good costumes that people can donate for that are just as enjoyable. So here we go. I'll let the UFO ending speak for itself as Alex's hand clips through the cement. Also, watch how he walks. Remember he got drilled in the leg? You remember how he was running around like nothing happened? Continuity, please. Oh, there's Elle. She's okay.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I agree. See you later, nerds.
So that's where they've been taking everybody.
Yeah, uh-huh.
I knew it!
Yeah, not the most exciting UFO ending. But alrighty, everybody. That was All Bosses New Game Plus. Thank you very much for watching. And whatever marathon this may be for, I hope you guys take it into consideration. Homecoming, like I said in the beginning of this run, is very underappreciated, but it is definitely one hell of a speed game and very entertaining. So, I hope you guys will take it into consideration. And I've been Starwin, and I'll see you guys in my next submission. Take care.